Fantastic. You're all welcome to today's session. And we have something fully packed for you in today's session. Welcome once again. Um, all right, people joining from Asaba, FCT, Makodi. Where are our Ghanaian brothers and sisters from Kenya, South Africa? I would love to know where we are all joining us from. Today we are going to be doing something very exciting, and we are going to be going home with valuable insights. All right, valuable insights. Okay, but very quickly before we set the ball rolling, I want us to play a quick game. I want us to play a very quick game. How many of you are excited to join me in this little game of mine? How many of us? It's going to be fastest fingers. Okay. So the speed at which you type is going to be tested. Okay. The speed at which you type is going to be tested. Let's see the real tech bros and techies in the house. Are you ready? I want you to crack your fingers. Okay, so it's going to be all about speed. Crack your fingers. Are you ready? I need to know we are all ready so that we can. Okay, so you can give me the thumbs ups if you are ready. Let me give you my own thumbs up so you can see. And let me give you, it's not just gonna be an ordinary game. The fastest finger, okay, will be noted, and I want the winner to send me a DM at the end of today's session. Okay, I want the winner to send me a DM at the end of today's session. So it's going to be a conversation between myself and the winner after the session today. What's the game about? Yeah, I'm taking time so people can prepare and crack their fingers. Princess, calm down, okay? I've picked your name now, so let's see if you'll be the winner. I just joined. Okay, all right. So it's gonna be fastest finger. I'll tell you to type something in the chat box, and the fastest person to type exactly what I say, and I'm gonna say just once. Fastest person to type the exact thing I say in the manner that I have said it, okay, will get the will be the winner. I'll crown the person the winner. Are we ready? One more time. Are you ready? I'm buying you time by asking you, are you ready? Somebody said you want stress person now. Okay, it's not stress, it's just a little game. All right, it's just a little game. Now, what you are going to type is this. I will get a remote tech job in 2025. I will get a remote tech job in 2025. Type it in the chat. Let me see. The first person, Kristen, I will get a remote tech. You didn't get it, Kristen. Let's go to the next person. Omonebo, I will get a remote tech job in 2025. Let's clap for okay, let's see. It's actually a tie when you look at the timing, right? But the first person on my list here to get it correctly in the manner which I typed, which I said it, is Omonego Eugene. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Let's see if anybody put a full stop. If there's anybody that put a full stop, I would also give it to that person. Did anybody put a full stop? Nobody put a full stop. There's no time to. Okay, somebody put a full stop. Who is that? David Edafe. Fantastic. So if I called your name David Edafe and Omo, that's Eugene, right? So both of you, I would love you to send me a DM. And don't worry, I'll share my contact towards the end of today's session. Fantastic. And I also see every one of you who also participated. It's a very close one. If we could, look at the timestamps exactly, you would have seen that you guys were almost on the same exact time. So let me clap for all of you. We have so much tech bros and techies in the house. You guys type unbelievably fast. All right. Let's get into today's session. Okay, we came here for a reason. All right, we came here for a reason. And in today's session, I'm going to be sharing everything you would ever need. Okay, everything you'd ever need to know for you to get yourself to launch your remote tech career in 2025. Okay, everything you need for you to get yourself started in 2025 as a remote tech talent. Now, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mohammed Suleiman. I am the Chief Operating Officer here at Nebiant Analytics, and I have close on a decade of experience in the space. I started my journey as a mechanical engineer, and along the line, I transitioned into tech myself. All right. And ever since, I've had the opportunity to work with top firms like Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is one of Italy's largest luxury car brands. And just to give a bit of context, they used to be a sister organization with Ferrari up until about 2016. If, I beg your pardon, up till about 2016 when Ferrari became a standalone organization themselves. And I've had the opportunity to also mentor and help close on 3,000 Africans to switch from classroom to their very first tech job. And like I said, I also transitioned into tech myself, so you can also do it too. Now, I want to know how many of us are joining us for the very first time. I want to know, are you joining me for the very first time? Are you a first timer? Type first timer in the chat box if you are joining for the very first time, and type regular if you've been in our sessions repeatedly. Okay, if you're joining us for the first time, type first timer. I want to see and know how many of us are seeing me for the very first time, and how many of us are seeing Nebiant Analytics for the very first time. Let's see. First timer. Okay, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic one. So many of us are joining us for the very first time. You're all welcome. And for that reason, allow me to introduce to you Nebiant Analytics. Nebiant Analytics is a premium tech firm that exists to close a unique gap. Now, in my experience and the experience of my team members working on the global level, there's been a unique problem that we figured out. And that problem is that in every 1,500 employees that work in the tech ecosystem, you'd only find about 10 Africans in that space. This is way less than 1%, way less than even 0.5% when it comes to comparison. Now, why do Africans have so low representation in the global front? The reason is very simple. Africans do not have access to premium tech training program. Now, the question really is, what is a premium tech training program? And that's exactly what we bring to Africans here at Nebiant Analytics. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go into the session itself. As regards Nebiant Analytics, we help Africans get into the tech space through 3 tech career paths: data analytics, data science, business analysis. Don't worry, I'm going to be demystifying all of the differences between these 3 tech career paths and also why we chose them. We also bring on board professionals who work these jobs and would help you get into the space by learning from real world experiences. So that's just a bit about Nebiant Analytics and who we are and why we even exist. Are you ready to go into what we have for today? I want to feel the energy in the chat box. Let me feel the energy so I know whether I'm going home now or we push further. Okay, let me feel the energy. Okay, Balogun, let's have it. I'm ready. Yes, fantastic. All right. What we are going to be discussing today would hover around 3 main things. All right, it will hover around 3 main things. Okay, 3 main things. First off, we're going to be discussing how you can become a tech talent in 2025. I would also talk about our extra layered support and some success stories, and there will be a special announcement and a Q&A at the end of today's session. Now, moving very quickly. If there is one thing you want, you ask me, and you say, okay, Muhammad, can you tell me one thing that if I have it, I'm going to get a tech, I'm going to get into tech easily? It is a project portfolio. All right. It is a project portfolio. And this is just one of the things that you need. All right. But if you ask me for one thing, okay, you need just one thing, it is a project portfolio. You need to show proof that you've done or you can do what you say you can do. You are who you say you are. All right. And these are some of our student portfolio. We'll go into that, much later. Okay, we'll go into that much later. But the real question is, and why we are here is, how do you even get into the tech space? How? Okay, and allow me to tell you this. There are three things you need for you to break into remote tech jobs. Okay, you may want to write this down or note it down somewhere. Three things you need to transition into the tech ecosystem are: number one, you need the skill itself. You need to get the technical know-how. Number two is, and like I mentioned earlier, you need a project portfolio, a proof that you know how to do the things you say you know how to do. And number three is, you need mentorship and guidance. You need guidance and mentorship. A lot of people overlook number three. They overlook number three, and number three actually gives birth to a whole lot of other things that you actually need to get yourself into the tech space. Now, it is through mentorship you can get to learn some of the soft skills you need to thrive in the space. Take, for example, so many people think that, oh, if I'm good enough with the technical aspect, that's good enough for me to get into tech. And then you find yourself in a spiral where you just keep learning and learning and learning and not actually getting, yourself a tech job. Are you actually learning tech for the fun of it? No, you are not. You want to learn tech, you want to get into the tech space so that you can improve your financial position, so that you can, it's a means to an end. You are not learning it for the fun of it. So why should you get yourself into a spiral where you just keep learning and learning and learning, and you've been learning for the past 2 years, you've been trying to break into tech for the past 2 years, and you haven't been able to do so? Now I can see Faith, your hand is up. I'll take questions, like I said, at the end of the session. So if you have any questions, grab your pen and paper, write it down. So when I open the floor for questions, you can ask your questions at the end of the session. And mind you, if you want to get hold of my slides, you also want to get hold of the recording of today's session, you may want to fill out the attendance form. The attendance form will be put in the chat box by one of my team members. So keep an eye on the chat box. I'll also inform you when that is available. And thank you, Balogun, for listing out the things that I mentioned. Now, as an African, okay, as an African, what are the career paths you should look at and why? What are the career paths you should look at and why? Now, the reason is very simple, okay? Data analytics, data science, business analysis, these are the career paths you actually want to focus on, in the year 2025. Apart from the fact that they have very good projections as to how high in demand they are, okay, there are several other reasons why you should choose these career paths, okay? Now, if you look at the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report for 2025, it's been projected that between the year 2025 and 2020, these jobs that are highlighted on my screen are going to grow by an additional 30 to 35% in demand. Now, let me put that into perspective for you so that you understand exactly what I'm saying. A lot of people say that, a lot of people say that, the tech space is saturated, or I'm not smart enough to get into the tech space. But is it really saturated? Is it really saturated? Yes, a lot of people are getting into tech these days, but is it really saturated? What's the situation? Now, the situation is this: the tech ecosystem is like a bucket of water. Okay, now imagine there is a bucket of water that you're fetching water into. At some point to get filled up, correct? Are you with me? Are you following? Trying to paint the scenario here. Are you following? If you fetch water into a bucket of water, especially using a tap, at some point to get filled up. But the manner in which the tech ecosystem is such that the bucket is getting bigger and bigger as the water is getting into it. Now, the water is the similitude of the number of people that are getting into tech these days. And the behavior of the bucket, meaning getting bigger and bigger, is how the demand for professionals like yourself who can do this job, that's how it is at the moment. Now, I want you to tell me, if I'm fetching water into a bucket of water and somehow the bucket is expanding, it's getting bigger in size, okay, will the water ever get filled up? Will the water ever get the chance to even fill up that bucket? Answer the question. Not at all. Not at all. Okay, until the bucket stops growing, then the water can get the best chance to fill up the bucket. So if that is the case, what career paths should you be looking at? Okay, what career paths should you be looking at? Now, before I even talk about data analytics, and who a data analyst is and how they are different from the data scientist and who the business analysts are, let me tell you the reason why we chose these three career paths: data analytics, data science, and business analysis. And I want you to also take note of these three reasons why we chose this career path specifically, because they are not the only ones high in demand. You have many others that are also high in demand, like cybersecurity analysts, like data engineers, like software developers, and the likes. But why did we choose data analytics, data science, and business analysis only? Now, the reasons are these, and there are also three reasons. Reason number one is, when you compare these three career paths to the others, they are easy to learn. Easy to learn in the sense that anybody from any walk of life can jump on this career path, learn the technicalities about it, and know it. All right, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, you are a fresh graduate, or you already have your career, you already have a career, but you're looking to pivot into tech, okay, or you have an engineering degree like myself, or you have a fine arts degree like my CEO, okay, or you don't even have a degree at all, okay, like some of my very good colleagues, who I've had the opportunity to work with in my career so far. Some of them leading change in companies without a first degree. And these are the possibilities working in one of these three career paths. Easy to learn. Reason number two is, it is easy to transition. And the reason is something I'd already mentioned in my session so far. The demand for this career path is on the rise. Okay, if we have the time, I'll show you live on LinkedIn what the demand is like, live and direct. So you see the numbers, how the number of job openings on a daily basis that you have on LinkedIn for data analysts, for data scientists, and business analysts. And the job title can take different shapes. For example, if you're going for a data analyst, you can apply to jobs like marketing analyst, you can apply to supply chain analyst, healthcare analyst, HR analyst, financial analyst, and so many more. Okay, but I'll show you a snippet of what it's like, what the demand is like, out there. And reason number three why we chose this career path is that they have high and rewarding salaries. Okay, on average across all three, you are open to a global annual salary of around 60,000 US dollars on a yearly basis, working remotely for organizations that are based in the US, based in the UK, and the likes. So, who can now tell me, who can summarize what are the three reasons? Balogun, I would expect that you picked those three reasons if no one else did. Okay, but I want to know what are the three reasons that I just mentioned why we chose data analytics, data science, and business analysis. Number one, easy to, okay, Jennifer, fantastic, easy to transition, meaning, and that's because of the flurry of, job adverts that you have on a daily basis. Who can tell me the other two? Who can tell me the other two? I want to know if you're following. Okay, I want to know if you're following. Jennifer said easy to transition. Who can tell me the other two? High salaries, fantastic. David, you too like money, okay? All right, fantastic. um High and rewarding salaries, okay? And Evans just took all the three of them and gave it back to me. Okay, easy to learn, easy to transition, high salaries. Evans, I throw my heart for you, okay? I throw my heart for you. All right, fantastic. And every other person who has also engaged, Balogun, um, Oyedele, Kabiru, Tamil, and every others. If I didn't mention your name, I beg your pardon. But you guys are superstars, and you guys are absolutely fantastic. So easy to learn, easy to Damian. I see you. Okay, I see you, Damian. All right. So easy to learn, easy to transition, high and rewarding salaries. And this is the Future of Jobs report, mind you. It's a report that come every 2 to 3 years, and it is developed by a congregation of thought leaders, captains of industries, billionaires, politicians on the global level, and they come together every period to discuss future of jobs. Okay, that's one of the topics they discuss, and it is put into writing, and you can gain access to this by clicking on this particular link in this slide. And if you want to get this slide, like I mentioned earlier, do well to fill out the attendance form. If you look at the chat box now, it is provided in there. So click on the blue link, that's the attendance form, fill out the attendance form, and you'll be able to get the recording, my slides, and any other material in this session. Okay, now, how many of you want to even know? I can't see your slide, and that's the more reason, Debbie, why you need to fill out the attendance form. Okay, so now, guys, how many of you want to know the difference between the three career paths so you can choose which one suits you? How many of us how many of us are interested in knowing, okay, can you tell me who a data analyst is, who a data scientist is, and who a business analyst is, so I know which one suits me? Because again, you don't just select a career path based on gut feeling. You need to know what they are and be interested, because that interest is what keeps you going and seeing the journey to a logical conclusion. Okay, quite a number of people want to know the differences. Now, who is a data analyst? Now, so that it sticks, and guys, this is the only explanation you would ever need to understand the differences between these career paths. I call the data analyst storytellers, and I'll tell you the reason why. Now, in the spectrum of analytics, there are 4 types. And if you know these 4 types, you'd easily be able to tell the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist. Now, the 4 types of analytics are descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. Now, you see these 4 analytics that I've mentioned. The data analyst focuses on the first 2 types of analytics, which are descriptive and diagnostic analytics. Okay, descriptive and diagnostic analytics. Okay, descriptive and diagnostic analytics. Okay, descriptive and diagnostic analytics. Are we together, guys? The data analyst focuses on descriptive and diagnostic analytics. That's their job. So the question now is, what's descriptive and diagnostic analytics? Now, remember, I called the data analyst as storytellers. Guys, storytellers, you tell story. What story are you telling as a data analyst? You're going to be telling a story. You know, when you tell a story, you are simply describing what happened. Okay? Descriptive analytics. You want to pick up the records that the company has, you know, taken note of in a specific period, and you decompose it and summarize it into a story. And the story you are telling the organization is how they performed during that period. Tell us what happened. What happened? That is what you call descriptive analytics. And to do this, you come up with dashboards, reports, and the likes to track and to, you know, describe what has happened. And then you don't stop there as a data analyst. You go on to diagnostic analytics. And diagnostic analytics is when you explain why those things happen. Now, it's not just you telling a story. You also need to be able to use data to explain why those things happen. Oh, you're telling us that last year we did better than we are already doing this year. When you compare the periods, so between January and April of last year, we did better than we are currently doing now. So that's the story, right? The question is why. So the why aspect of it is the diagnostic analytics, and it's not your opinion. You're going to be using. You're going to use data to back up these reasons, and that's your job in a nutshell as a data analyst. That's your job as a data analyst. All right. And for you to become a data analyst, you need to be conversant with these tools: Microsoft Excel, okay, Power BI, SQL, Tableau, Looker Studio, and of course, in this day and time, you need to be familiar with generative AI, ChatGPT. Okay, you need to be conversant with these tools. Now, when you look at Microsoft Excel, it's not your regular Excel. Okay, you're going to use Excel for analytics. You build interactive reports. Okay, you build interactive reports using Microsoft Excel. All right, I didn't say Pablo, I said Tableau. Okay, Tableau. Let me type it in the chat so that we're on the same page. All right, Tableau, not Pablo. Okay, Tableau, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, Looker Studio, SQL, and ChatGPT, which is generative AI. Okay, now Power BI, Tableau, and Looker Studio are all right. I'm looking at the charts, that's why I'm chuckling, right? Power BI, Tableau, and Looker Studio are all data visualization tools. And the reason we've included all three of them in here is so that you are more attractive on average than any other tech talent recruiters typically find. Now, when a tech recruiter sees that, oh, as a data analyst, you have Tableau, Power BI, and Looker Studio, you instantly become the favorite to hire. And all you need to do is to meet their expectation during an interview. Okay, if you've done your homework correctly, you will be able to ace the interview and, of course, the job. And I have a special announcement for you, like I said earlier. Okay, now, and you can see on an average what you can earn globally as a data analyst. All right, so how about the data scientist? Remember, I mentioned 4 types of analytics, and I said that the descriptive and diagnostic analytics belongs to the data analyst. Well, you're welcome. Predictive and prescriptive analytics are the jobs of the data scientist. They are the job of the data scientist. Oluwadara says DDPP. Okay, it looks like you've been in one of my sessions in the past, or is this a coincidence, Oluwadara? Is that a coincidence? You formed a new party, okay, DDPP. I didn't say so, okay. Maybe you are the one that would overthrow the current or the incumbent administration, okay. But we are going to use data, okay. And the DDPP that Oluwadara is talking about in the chat is descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Now, as a data scientist, you are you are focused on predicting the future. You want to help an organization to look at where they currently are, and based on where they currently are, predict into the future to see exactly what is likely going to happen. And based on the information that you figure out from your prediction, your interpretation, you then prescribe what's the way forward. Okay, with all of these things that we've discovered from our prediction, what is the way forward so that we can either maximize the potential that we have or avert a negativity that is likely going to happen based on what we have already. Am I making sense, guys? Am I making sense? Am I making sense? If I go into what you need to learn to become a data scientist, am I making sense? Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, as a data scientist, these are the things you need to learn. You need to learn Excel, okay? Slightly different from that of the data analyst in the sense that you're going to be learning Excel not just for descriptive analytics, but predominantly for predictive analytics. So your focus is slightly different from the data analyst. So even if some of the tools you use as a data scientist would overlap the data analyst, you are going to be using it. You are going to be using it for a different purpose, which is predictive and prescriptive analytics. You're also going to need to learn Python. Okay, or let me take it to the right. You learn SQL. SQL is used to extract data from a company's database, so you need to learn how to do that. You also learn Tableau. Tableau specifically because it has some inbuilt predictive analytics capabilities. All right, and it also helps you to create reports whenever you need to. Typically, as a data scientist, you would not be building dashboards, but we've added that regardless because it is an added advantage for you as a data scientist. Should you choose to go into that career, your bread and butter, of course, would be Python. Now, Python, whenever the first time I heard Python, I told myself categorically that I can never know Python. I tried to learn, okay? I learned so many times. Back in the days, I wasn't able to get a hang of it, not until I was able to learn practically. So when I eventually broke into the tech space, I broke into the tech space initially as a data analyst, and I had the opportunity to work with data scientists. And I saw what they were doing, and I was like, this thing is not as difficult as it sounds, right? And mind you, they earn just a slightly tiny little bit more than the data analyst within the same organization. All right, so it's possible that a data analyst earns more than a data scientist when you compare across different regions and organizations, right? But within an organization, a data scientist will typically earn a little bit more than a data analyst. So guess what I did? I used that as my promotion strategy and got into data science, and I got promoted to becoming a data scientist, and that extra cash came into my pocket. Okay, you'd also get to learn GitHub. Now, because you'll be writing codes, you need to keep track of the code you're writing so that you can switch back or forth to which version of the code you want. and of course ChatGPT. And guys, I will tell you for free, the set of professionals in the tech space that enjoy generative AI, ChatGPT specifically, the most is the data scientist. So you don't have to sit down and rack your brain anymore to write Python codes. All you need is a very good understanding of the basics, one. Number two is a good understanding of the problem you want to solve. And ChatGPT would help you write the majority of the code you need. Then you now have time to focus on driving results. Okay, so as a professional, as a organizations actually hire you to solve problems, not to write codes. So if you are the best in writing Python codes, that's not what an organization needs from you. What the organization needs from you is to solve actual problems. So you get to focus on that while ChatGPT writes your codes for you. So ChatGPT is a tool, not something that will take your job away from you. ChatGPT is useless without you as a tech professional. Okay? Am I making sense, guys? Am I making sense? Now, let's go to the business analyst. Now, as a business analyst, all right, as a business analyst, you are more of a mediator between two entities. So allow me to draw the business analyst. Now, mind you, business analysts are usually more handsome and beautiful than this in real life. Okay. Now, the business analyst typically finds themselves in between two entities. The first group of people they find themselves in the midst is people like the CEOs, C-suite, C-suite, what was it called? C-suite level. Okay, all right. I'll get to answer your questions. I saw a question in the chat. Now you have the CEOs, these are business owners, okay, people who run businesses, and then you have developers. These are people that build products, okay, tech products like your mobile app, your websites, your softwares, and the like. Now, what's your job as a business analyst? CEOs and drivers of companies always need the services of developers. And in most cases, all right, there is a need for a business analyst to oversee what the developer is doing and to maintain transparency to ensure that whatever the developer is building meets the requirements given by the business owners. Now, let me put this into perspective. Okay, a CEO starts their business and they need a website, and they're like, you know what, I want my website to be able to accommodate customers in several ways. I want customers to be able to make payments via my website. I want customers to be able to book a consultation session with me via my website. I want customers to be able to chat me up via my website. I want customers to be able to, all those I want, those are the requirements. Now, you as a business analyst would not just keep or document these requirements, you'd also oversee the activity, the day-to-day activities of the developer to ensure that whatever is created is intermittently presented to the CEOs and they are carried along and there's transparency from start to finish. All right. You also need to understand the process of, a process upon which companies operate so that you can optimize the process. That's your job as a business analyst. And in today's world, okay, in recent times, based on our recent researches, we have figured out that recruiters also are now looking for business analysts that can handle data to a reasonable extent. Of course, not as deep as the data analyst or the data scientist, but to a reasonable extent. And guess what? For that reason, our business analysis program has been tailored to cater to all of those needs. Now, we don't just take you directly into the core business analysis framework, you are going to cover some of the basic data literacy tools, Microsoft Excel, SQL, and Power BI. You would cover these things, and these are the basic tools that you need to be able to handle data to any reasonable extent. Now, beyond this, you would also cover some business analysis, core tools like Miro, Draw.io. These are using for drawing up process maps. Okay, so you use that for process mapping. Okay, you have Azure DevOps, you have Jira. These are used to both manage projects and collaborate with team members, and to also inculcate an agile methodology. Now, what is agile methodology? Now, as a business analyst, you need to understand what the agile methodology is, and this is what separates you from an ordinary project manager. While the project manager would wait to make the very big, grand presentation and unveiling of the product at the end of the development, you as a business analyst applying the agile methodology, you would have milestones. Now, for each milestone in the development phase of the project, you are going to be presenting that aspect, okay, of the product to the business owners, so that if there is any need to make changes, you can make changes while the development is ongoing, not after the deadline must have been elapsed. So that's the agile methodology, okay? And of course, in today's world, guys, you cannot, let me put it this way, you cannot but need the help of generative AI. If you are going into tech today and you are neglecting AI in entirety, or you are afraid of AI, then you are going nowhere. You need to embrace AI, and the best way to see AI is a tool. AI is a tool to increase your productivity. So as a business analyst, how do you leverage AI? You get to learn that on the program. Now, based on what we've discussed so far, okay, I've also provided the full brochure here. So fill out the attendance form in the chat box. You can see the link. One of my team members have posted it. Fill out the attendance form. Okay, somebody's saying I need to reconsider my choice. You can fill the form again. Okay, just fill the form again so that you can re-enter your new choice. Because guess what? That's the next question that I'll be asking you. Now, based on what we've discussed so far, okay, which of the programs would you be going for? Which of them would you be going for? Which of them? Data analytics, data science, or business analysis? All right. Somebody said I'm still retaining business and analysis, data analyst, data scientist. Okay, fantastic. Now, while your responses are coming into the chat, okay, the program is a 3-month journey. So for 3 months, you'll be learning to become one of any one of your choice. Okay, so you choose the career path you want to go into, and for 3 months would mentor you and give you everything you need to become one. And you'll also have a 1-month internship. So in total, it's 4 months, a 4-month journey. Okay, so the 1-month internship is tailored to testing your skills in a real working environment. All right, and your classes or your week would typically cut across 4 sessions. Now, the first session is your main session on Saturdays. Okay, on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. On Saturdays, you would have an instructor-led class. So you'll be in a session like this. Okay, it's 100% online. You'll be in a session like this where an expert would take you through practical problems that you'll be solving in class that will build your experience. Now, on Sundays, you'd get access to what we call DID videos, do as I do videos. Now, this is self-paced, so you don't need to come into class to go over these videos. Now, typically, you watch these videos on Sundays and you can spread it through the week. Now, what does this do for you? What it does for you is that it prepares you ahead of the next class on Saturdays, because Saturday classes are tailored to solving those real world problems. Okay, so all the preamble and the majority of the theoretical things you need to learn will be embedded in the DID videos. And the DID videos is not just theoretical, it also encapsulates some of the practicals that you need. But Saturdays are predominantly for hands-on practicals that you do to get yourself acquainted. Now, on Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings, you have sessions. Tuesday evenings, you get what we call support sessions. Now, one of the things we've discovered is that when you are starting out as a beginner, it's very easy for you to hit a roadblock, and that is your reason for stopping your journey. So how do we ensure that on a weekly basis, all the roadblocks you hit, you bring it to a dedicated session so that you are able to circumvent it under the guidance of your instructor. So your instructor will be there in your support session 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Tuesdays to help you, alleviate any issues that you may have. All right. And then on Thursday, same time, 9 to 10 p.m., you have your mentorship sessions. Okay, you have your mentorship sessions. Now, your mentorship sessions will cover everything regarding the soft skills that you need to get yourself into the tech ecosystem. And I'll be speaking more to the soft skills that you actually need to get into the tech ecosystem. I've already talked about the portfolio and how portfolio is needed. And I'd love to show you, let me just quickly show you some of the portfolios of our students. So you see exactly what I'm talking about and the kind of project you get to work on when you join the training. Now, this is Adachi. Mind you, I clicked on one of the links, and yeah, these are people who started from zero. I can see somebody asking, can I actually start from zero? All of our students started from zero. And like I said, this is possible because the career paths themselves are such that you do not need any prior knowledge to get yourself started. Regardless of your background, you can actually start out and build an actual career on this path. So this is Adachi, one of our students. Okay, and you can see her portfolio. You can see about me. This is branding. So any recruiter who sees this know that you've put in effort into this career. And you can actually click on the view my portfolio, and this brings up her portfolio page, and you can see some of the real world projects that she has worked on during her course of study. So this is Adachi. She built this under our guidance, a real world project, she had no prior knowledge before this point. So how can you also get this yourself? Okay, now when I spoke about the mentorship, I told you that look, there are some of the watching as please guys, if you can see my screen, type I can see your screen so that people who are complaining in the chats can know that it's their network and not from my end. So far my network has been shiny and super good and fast, so please check your network so that you can see my screen. If an easy fix is you can drop off the call and then join back and see if you can then see my screen. Okay, thank you guys for all of the responses. Now, okay, now guys, that is not all. When I talk about the mentorship, it encapsulates so many things. Now we have what we call our extra layered support, and this is the second thing that I said I'll talk about in today's session. Our extra layered support, career support here at Navient Analytics that ensures that you get a job. Okay, now, and I'm going to talk about somebody who got a job today. One of our students actually got a job today, and I came with that excitement into this session to announce that to you. So how do we actually help people get jobs beyond just teaching you the technical aspect of the career path of your choice? Now, we provide you support via your mentorship. Okay, we also have what we call CV assessment and job matching. Now, gone are the days where you will have one CV. Okay, you pay somebody, the person gives you a CV, and that's the CV you use to apply for all the jobs you ever have to apply to. That does not work in the tech ecosystem. You need to know what we call job matching. How do you tailor your CV to suit the job you are applying to at that point in time? We'll teach you how to do that. Okay, beyond the technical skills that you've learned. You also have LinkedIn profile revamp. LinkedIn is a professional platform that projects you and projects your talent to any tech recruiter. Okay, it's a platform where you showcase your skills, put yourself out there, boost your personal brand. Will help you revamp your profile if you don't, if you have one already, or you create one from scratch if you do not have one already. You also have Upwork profile optimization. Now, Upwork is a platform where you can get remote jobs, specifically working for organizations majorly based in the US. So you have clients in the US who you get to work with on Upwork. Okay, some of you may already know Upwork. If I ask now that how many of you have an Upwork account, majority of you may already have an Upwork account. But how many of you have actually gotten a job on Upwork? So many people, think that Upwork it's impossible to get a job on Upwork, and that's because you are doing it wrong. So how do you give yourself the best chance on Upwork? We'll tell you how to do that. We also have what we call lifetime interview preparation, and let me tell you what this is, because some of us do not know the implication of what this lifetime interview preparation is. Now, as a premium tech brand, our goal is not just to teach you the skill, but to actually get you into the tech space. That's our goal. Okay. Now, for you to achieve such a goal, you need what we call interview preparation. Now, interview preparation is such that whenever you get called for any interview, okay, whenever you get called for any interview, all you need to do is to inform us beforehand, and we prepare you ahead of the interview so that you get two things. Number one is that your confidence is boosted. Number two is that you get a competitive advantage against all the other candidates that are going to also be interviewed for that same role. And guys, I want you to see this. Maybe I should have written it in red. It is lifetime. Lifetime. Meaning that even after your program has ended, stay with me, guys. Even after your program has ended, you can still come back to us and get prepared for an interview at no extra cost. Only a premium tech brand that is what's the word, committed to getting you into the tech space would actually give you an offer like this. Okay, many of the other tech training brands you find out there, they teach you the technical stuff. They do not even mentor you. They don't tell you where to get jobs, how to get jobs, or even support you in any way, shape, or form. They just teach you and then they send you away. And it's even worse that some of these brands, when you go back to ask them, oh, can I gain access to those my training materials and the videos and all of that, they'll tell you to even pay extra. Okay, now regardless of what they even charged you first, anybody who tells you that, oh, you need to make extra payment, okay, for something you requested for, is not that that training program is not committed to getting you into the tech space. Okay, and that's what differentiates us as a premium tech training brand. So you also have your support sessions. I talked about that when I was talking about the schedule of the program, and then you have your lifetime access. So you don't even need to ask us that, oh, can I get the video of my class on Power BI? You don't need to ask us for that. You get access to it, automatically upon enrollment. And let me show you. So we are not in the business of talking. We are in the business of doing. So let me show you what it actually is. Now, when you get yourself enrolled on the platform, because you may be wondering, how are we promising you a lifetime access to your videos? This is how. Okay, when you get enrolled into the program, all right, you get onboarded into this platform called the Google Classroom. Google Classroom. Now, the Google Classroom is the trick behind you getting a lifetime access to this platform. Now, you enroll, you get onboarded into this platform. Now, let's assume you are enrolled in the data analytics cohort. So I'll just go to the February cohort because they've made substantial progress, and that would be good for me to give you a demo on what it's like. The first thing you get when you enroll is important materials. All the resources regarding job application, CV, job matching, Upwork, you get them here. You also get everything regarding LinkedIn optimization. As if that's not enough, you also get a resource that walks you through on how to create your own custom project portfolio. All right. So all of those fantastic portfolio you saw my students design, this was the video they watched, this particular one, and that helps them to create their portfolio. Now, allow me to just pick a class at random. Now, this particular cohort, they've done this is SQL Live Class 1, so their first SQL class, okay, their first SQL class, and like I said, all your classes, you come here to log into your class. So these are the login details. You come here, click on the link, just the way you click on the link to join this program. You click on this link, you join the class live. Now, the class would be recorded. As you are attending the class, it will be recorded for future reference. Not for us, but for you. Majorly because of you. We did this majorly because of you. Okay, so look at the class recording here. So this class was recorded, and as a student, you have access to this platform. You can always come back here. Oh, there was something the expert taught us in our SQL class. I need to refresh my memory. And this comes in handy, especially when you've gotten a job. Because when you've actually gotten a job, you would sometimes need to refresh your memory every now and then. So do you need to then still pay extra at that point in your career? No. Since you've already attended the class, why not have a lifetime access to this? So whenever it is you get a job, you can still come back here, or whenever it is you deem it fit, maybe you miss a class or something that requires that you go back to these videos. You have it waiting for you here to jump on it. So this particular one I'm showing you is for those who registered for the February cohort. So as you're attending the class, it is recorded and it's provided on this platform, and you can actually go back to it. Now, let me show you what the class material looks like. Okay, let me show you what the class material looks like. Because I said that you work on real world projects. So this is the first SQL Live class. Some basic concept was just revised, just to revise and refresh your memory. These are some of the basic concepts. And after that, you go into an actual case study. So there's an actual real-world case study that you would work on. Okay, so it's not just going into class to do theory. No, you get your hands dirty, the real work, just the way a typical data analyst would, and you get yourself, you get the experience from there. So a case study on Access Bank transactions. So you're working for Access Bank. This is an experience. And the professionals you work with actually bring all of these case studies from their own personal experience so that you can learn experientially. So you work on a case study. Access Bank is the leading financial institution, this and that. You will have a project objective and, a set of questions, burning questions that you need to ask. Okay, your team lead has just sent an email containing today's ad hoc reporting requirements for the following deliverables. Kindly send in your report, including all SQL scripts and output by close of business. So it is as if you're already working, even when you're learning. All right. So that is how the program is structured. So this was to show you what it actually looks like enrolling in one of the programs. So imagine you have a lifetime access to all of this training material. So this is what we've put on ground to ensure that you gain access to not just gain access to the materials, but it gets you into the tech ecosystem. Again, do not forget to fill out the attendance form if you are just joining us, so you get the recording, my slides, and every other materials that we've promised you. All right. Now, the 1 month internship, I already talked about it, in the schedule. But the internship is tailored towards giving you that real work environment. And one of the things I tell people is, you don't go into internship to make money. Okay, you don't go into internship to make money. You go into internships to test your abilities. And there is also a possibility that you even get jobs before you get the internship. And that's why our internship is optional. If you like, you can take it. If not, you can leave it. Okay, but most of the people who have left the internship out was a result of them already getting the job. They already got jobs before they got the internship to the internship phase of the training. Okay, I'm talking about recommendation letters, right? You can see recommendation letters, you get references and recommendation letters. And I want to talk to you about the recommendation letters by talking about the testimonials. Now, I have embedded all our recent and latest testimonials here. You can click this button when you get this slide, and you get to see all of the testimonials. But there is one particular one I want to dwell on today, and this is somebody who got a job today. So earlier today, we received the news from Helene Okai, not Lebora Alawale. Helene Okai is her name, and she just got. I just updated this actually today, heading into this session. She got a job. Helene got this job earlier today. Okay, and I had to quickly include her. I actually had to include, her information in this slide. Okay, so I beg your pardon. Let me just go back to that particular slide. So her name is not Lebora Alawale, but actually Helene Okai, just to quickly correct that. Okay, now Helene reached out to us today, and what she was asking for was the recommendation letter. So we promised her that, look, you want to join the program and you get an offer, your recruiter would typically ask you for a recommendation letter. And this was the email she got, asking her for a recommendation letter and giving her an offer for a junior marketing analyst. Okay, now how does she get a recommendation letter from us? We tell her, look, you need to include Nabiant Analytics as your current working place. Okay, so you can see that it is showing me here that myself and her, we work at Nabiant Analytics. So that is the kind of relationship we develop with you. We allow you to use Nabiant Analytics as your current workplace, so that whenever you have the need from of a letterhead from your previous employer, because as you can see, they said you are also required to provide 2 references, 1 personnel reference and 1 professional on letterhead, preferably from a previous employer. Okay, preferably from a previous employer. So because you use Nabiant Analytics as a previous employer, okay, you can get a compelling recommendation letter. I wish I could show you what the content of the recommendation letter was. Very compelling, and that ensures that she gets the offer. So a big congratulations to Helene Okai. I want you to give us a round of applause for the good job we are doing here at Nabiant Analytics. And also, yeah, fantastic. Give us a round of applause, because we are doing well when it comes to, actually getting people into the tech space. Okay, and mind you, Helene joined if I'm correct, she joined us January this year, and she completed her program last month. I think she's currently in the internship phase, and she got a job. So that's the kind of testimonial, and you could be the next Helene, okay, by making that decision to start your journey. Okay, we also have Lebora Olawale, We have Udwak Basi. These are people who have gotten jobs. You can listen to them. I won't bore you with all of those. You have Amaka Anyago. Go to our page. You see all of them. You get to hear from each and every one of them. And we've also featured on top tech boards, Tech Kaba and Business Day, reiterating the fact that you only get a few tech brands like Navient Analytics who are committed to you getting into the tech space, not just to teach you and let you go. Okay. Now, our next class is starting on the 10th of May. You can start your journey on the 10th of May. And I could see while I was in the session, I could see people had questions to ask. I would soon start answering questions, but more specifically, somebody was asking, how do I join the session? I've been receiving DMs. Oh, how do I get into the session? What is the requirement for me to get into the session? Now, first off, I want to ask, how many of you want to start your journey 10th of May? I only need people who have made up their mind already. If you've not made up your mind, I'm not talking to you. Have you made up your mind to get into tech? Start your journey 10th of May, or you are still thinking about it. If you are still thinking about it, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about those who have at this point said that, you know what, I have made up my mind to start my journey 10th of May. Now, when you look at what we offer here at Navient Analytics, okay, all of the lifetime offers that we've given and our commitment to actually working with you until the very point where you get yourself into the tech ecosystem, okay, whatever the investment is actually worth it, okay? And speaking of the investment you need to make in yourself to get yourself skilled, to get jobs worth around an average of $60,000 per year, working remotely for organizations based in the US. The price for any of the programs of your choice, or any of the career paths, either data science, data analytics, or business analysis, okay, the investment is 250,000 naira only. 250,000 naira only. Now, the good thing is that you don't need to pay all 250,000 naira at once. You can do that in as much as 3 installments. So you get to choose. You can do it in two installments, or as much as 3 installments. Okay. Now, the first tranche of the payment, and I want us to listen to this very carefully so that we are on the same page. The first tranche of the installment secures you your discount. Okay, it secures you your discounted slot, and that way you are sure that you are getting this at a discounted rate. Mind you, the program actually worth more than 250,000. So this 250,000 is actually just for the early birds, Okay, and Oluwadara, you are making a very good point. I can see your interaction in the chat, and you are making a very good point. Okay, how much is your smartphone? The smartphone you are using. Okay, you deem that fit to own it, and you invested in owning that smartphone. Now invest in yourself. Okay, invest in yourself, and you're saying that's too much, right? Looking at the value that we offer here at Navient Analytics, if it's just even for the lifetime access you have to your materials, the lifetime access you have to the Navient Analytics community, and how we are committed to working with you until the very point where you get into the tech space, there is no amount that you can possibly actually pay that would be commensurate to the value you get, and you only get this from premium brands. So how do we get you that kind of value at a price point where for you who are ready to get yourself into the space, it is affordable, right? 50,000 naira first tranche secures your spot for you today. Then the next installment will be ending of April, 100,000 naira, and that qualifies you to start your journey in May. Okay, and then at the end of May, you then pay the last part of the payment. Now, the second part of the payment can be made April ending, anytime between April ending and when the class starts March 10th. So anytime between that period, you can actually make the second payment. And then after you've started the program, you then get to make the final part of the payment. And for you to secure a spot with 50,000 naira today, you can do that. And this is just going to be for 20 people. Early birds, just for 20 people on the call. We have over 100 on this call. Only 20 people only 20 people will get to benefit from this offer. So if after 20 people have been hit, whenever you come, you won't get it at this price, and you will no longer get the E3 installment plan. Okay, now how do you get yourself enrolled? You make a payment of 50,000 naira into this account details, Nebiant Analytics, that you can see on your screen. And after you've done that, you send a proof of payment directly to me via WhatsApp DM, and then I will personally walk you through on the next step you need to take to get yourself documented and enrolled into the program. 0703-215-8619 is my WhatsApp line. 0098-999-047. Sterling Bank, Nebiant Analytics. I'm gonna be now. The time is 9:13. The time now is 9:13. Now for the next 15 minutes, I will be going on to take questions, and I want to see you. Okay, I've already gotten a DM from somebody who just secured their slots right now on the call. So once you secure your slots, okay, send me a DM with the proof of payment, and I will walk you through what you need to do to get yourself enrolled. Okay, Muhammad Suleiman, 0703-215-8619. Okay, so people have started enrolling as we speak. So if you've already sent me a DM, first of all, congratulations to you. And second of all, by 9:30, once we've ended this particular session, I would respond to your DMs and get you into the next steps of enrollment. Okay, now while you are doing that, I will take questions. You can type your questions in the chat so I can easily pick it up from there and engage. Now, questions. Now I'll just track back a little bit to see if I find any questions, and then trickle my way down to the most recent questions. Now, if for example I miss your question, please just copy it and paste it again in the chat box so that I take your question. Victor Ikena is asking, do you guys offer certificates? Capital letter, yes. Now, the reason I did not even dwell on certificates throughout my presentation is that while we give you certificates at the end of your program, all the participants that have gotten jobs, for example, Helene that I talked about, has not gotten her certificates from us yet. She's just about completing the internship program and then getting her certificate. Okay, so she's either just completing her internship or is about to complete, and you don't get a certificate until after that period. Okay, now how did she still get the interview even without the certificate, and now gotten an offer to work as a junior market analyst? Okay, junior marketing analyst. How is that possible? That's because recruiters would not even ask you to present any specific certificate. Recruiters would dwell on your abilities and capabilities and your soft skill. They want to see you as a person, how you speak, how you can defend the project you say you can, and these are the things that actually gives you the job at the end of the day. Okay, so yes, we give certificates. That's the short answer, Victor. Okay, let's see. So Adewale, you say your smartphone is 35K. Wouldn't you want to use a smartphone of 3.5 million naira? Is that something you don't want in your life, Adewale? If that's something you want to use a phone of 3.5 million naira, the latest iPhone, okay, you can actually do that. And you can only do that by getting yourself in a career path like this. So if the investment you need to make is what's on my screen right now, okay, for a lifetime support, then the question is back to you. Why haven't you registered right now, Adewale? Why? What are you still waiting for? I want to tell me that reason, and I want you to type it in the chat. Why haven't you enrolled? Now, people are enrolling as we speak. Why not you? Okay, why not you? Is it 200? And Ajayi is asking, is it 250K for the 3 courses or one each, please? So it is one each, depending on your choice. So you choose one, and then you enroll, and then we give you everything you need that is required to get into the that particular path. Jennifer is asking, is the training annually or just once? It is monthly. So there is a new class starting every single month. So after the class starting in May, there is another one starting in June. But guess what? If you wait till June, you will come here and you beg us to pay 250,000 naira once to gain access. I will tell you the prices has changed and it no longer goes for that price. So what you are seeing now is the status quo. It is not a set in stone. We move very fast. We are serious about what we are doing, and we know the value you get, okay, that you won't get elsewhere. So when you come next, you may come maybe next month. You want to enroll next month, I will tell you, oh, the prices have changed. So as you are seeing this now, this is the offer on ground now. It is not a set in stone. So please enroll now if you haven't already. All right, Jennifer, enroll now. Don't wait till June to get yourself started. Okay. Oluwadara say now 80K day like this. That qualifies you to secure a spot for yourself. Okay, so go ahead, secure your spots, and let's have a conversation, Oluwadara. Okay, you've been very engaging in this session so far. So let's have a discussion. I'll be happy to do that with you. Ezekiel, please write the number. So I'll write it again, 0703. If you've not gotten it already, let me type it again, 0703-215-8619. That's my phone line. The account details is on my screen right here. So you can pick it up from here. Okay, 0098999047. Nabiant Analytics Sterling Bank. All right, questions. By 9:30, we are shutting this down. If you've not enrolled and this particular offer goes, this session ends, you are on a long thing. Okay. A laptop, Evans is asking, a laptop is clearly a necessity to begin, right? Capital letter, yes. Because you're going to learn as if you're already working, okay? As if you're already working that career path, and you're going to need a laptop for that purpose, okay? Now, candid advice to you, if you need more time to get a laptop, this is what you can do so that you can still benefit from this particular offer while you get time to gain your laptop. Now, like I said, we have new classes starting every month. Okay, so let's assume you want to start in June instead of May. You want to start in June or even July. What you can do to gain access to this offer is you secure that spot now with 50,000, and then the ending of the month before the class starts, you then make the second installment. So let's assume I want to start in June. Okay, so I make the first installment now. That guarantees me a slot, and then by May ending. May ending, that's like 2 months away from now, or just before the class starts in June, I make the second installment and get myself started with the program. It gives you ample time to get yourself sorted out to start. Okay, and there's also possibility to start in July, but if my memory serves me right, I think that's the highest into the future you can actually prepare to start. Okay, let's see. Edit as a question. I have actually gone through a business analysis class such as this. Can I be mentioned here with you guys? I don't understand the question. Maybe you mean, can you be mentored here with you guys? So Edit, let's have a conversation on that. But so far, people who have come and claimed to have experience, by the time we test them, just before we even test them on their abilities, before we even talk about getting access to the mentorship, we find that close to 100% of them do not even have the requisite technical skills to even start with. So, and that's because we are more of practicals. So, for example, the business analysis training you said you got, it's likely that you didn't do any practicals. Okay, you were taking through theories, no actual getting your hands dirty, and that's a big problem. Okay, if you get a job in that state, you may not be able to keep the job for long. So we don't want you to be in this category also. So Joel, send me a DM. Let's have a discussion. Please, I don't know the basics of Excel. I hope the basics to the complex will be taught. Even more, okay? Okay, you start from the very scratch, okay, and work your way up to intermediate to professional category. All right, I hope that answers your question. Samira Lawal asks, please, for the data analysis, what are the tools we're going to be taught? Excel, Power BI, SQL, Tableau, Looker Studio, and ChatGPT as a generative AI for analytics. I hope you got that and answer the question. Victor is asking, can you give an appropriate amount of salary for a data scientist? For a data scientist, you earn somewhere between 80 to six-figure yearly salary in US dollars globally. Okay, I hope that answers your question. What's your class mode like? Is it online or physical? It is 100% online, and the reasons are very simple, Sahid. It is 100% online because you're going to be working with professionals who are situated not within our locality. Okay, these are professionals carefully handpicked from all over the country, and we do not want logistics to be the issue or the roadblock behind you get the roadblock to you getting the best kind of training, right? So, and we also stand for a purpose of helping Africans. And how do we reach Africans? Seamlessly. It is through online classes. Okay, and what makes it a win-win for you is that you get acquainted to remote environment. How do you work remotely? Okay, so you get acquainted to that kind of environment because that's where you are getting into. And for those reasons, our classes are online. Okay. Can a smartphone be used throughout the internship or course training? No. No and no, for the reason I had already explained earlier, Chinasa. Chinwe asks, can I do any of these programs as a side hustle? Assuming I have a job currently, do I have to completely focus on the program? You can actually take it as a side hustle. Okay. Now, but it's one of the freshest and the most fantastic side hustle you can ever get, Chinwe. And let me tell you how that works. So let's assume you're a medical doctor during the day. Okay, or medical doctors work day and night. But let's assume you're a medical doctor or a lawyer, okay, currently, or you're a banker. Now, you can focus on working with organizations, freelance. So for you specifically, I'd love to know what profession you currently are doing, Chinasa, so that not Chinasa, rather Chinwe. so that I could tailor my answer to you specifically. Now, let's assume you're a medical doctor, you work day and night. Okay, what kind of jobs do you go for? All you need to do is when you get yourself filled, you then target freelance slash contract jobs. I did that a whole lot. Not because I was a medical doctor, I'm no medical doctor. It is simply because contracts and freelance roles pays you more. Okay, you don't have a cap to the amount you can earn on a monthly basis working as a contractor for companies based in the US, UK, overseas, and the likes. You don't have a cap to it. You earn on average more than a full-time role. Even if full-time roles, has more benefits when it comes to HMO, pension, and the like. I just preferred contracts because I get my money fast, okay, and quickly. So you could look into that as well, Shinwe. Um, Victor is asking, some other courses do this training for about 1 year. Why is this one only 3 months? I'm concerned if the whole basics and courses will be taught and how many hours per day. All right. So if you looked at the schedule, okay, let me quickly go back to the schedule so you can see it. Short answer, the reason why hours is 3 months is that we focus on only the essential things you need. We don't waste your time. Those other courses that takes 1 year to learn, first off, are not easy to learn. One. Number two, it's a strategy that all these roadside training program use to keep you so long so that you feel as if you are learning heaven and earth, and then when you are done with the program, they push you away. While our program lasts for 3 months, it is also good to note that we have lifetime. We are with you for life. So this is a lifetime partnership we're looking to build with you, not just a 3 months partnership. If you get my points clear, we offer lifetime interview preps. Those other programs, then they will train you for 1 year. Go and ask them for access to your training materials. They'll tell you to pay extra, or you should go away. All right. So it is a lifelong partnership we're actually building with you, and what makes the value you are getting for your investments worthwhile for us. All right. So that is the answer to your question. I hope that answers your question. I hope that answers your question. Let me go back to the enrollment page. All right. Let's see, Sahid, what's the class mode like? Physical or online? I think I've answered that question. How many days a week? So let me just, I think you can just take a screenshot of this particular screen to answer that question. Okay, this is where is the schedule again? So this is the schedule. Just take, I already explained this earlier in my session. All right, so you can take a screenshot of this 4 days per week, but there's a caveat. Okay, you have your classes. Saturdays mainly you go through your practicals 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sundays you get self-paced videos, so you don't have to attend a class Sundays. You can spread these videos through the week to keep you engaged. And during the week, you have 2 sessions. On Tuesdays, you get a support session. So what you've learned, if you have any problems, you come into this session, get it solved, and you keep making progress. And then on this, you undergo your mentorship and soft skill training. So I hope that answers your question once again. So let me see, are there any other questions? What's the class mode like? I think I've answered that question. Please, does the training come with a well-recognized professional certification? I think I've answered that question before already. Yes, I meant mentorship. I think that question has been answered. Positives, no practicals done. Yes, so Edith, you were talking about the business analysis training you already took. Yes, so we already know all of these things. It's not new to us, and that's why we are confident about the things that we do here. Ezekiel, what's your question? Please, I'm asking again, was this session recorded? Yes, it was. Sahid, how long is the training, please? I think I've answered that question. Are you also working as a data analyst or scientist? Do you make? Yes, I currently work as a data analyst and data scientist. I do more consulting. I also work as an operations expert in tech, uh, tech industry. Okay, so if you have anything related to operation, I'm an expert. Always reach out to you on how to start up things. So if you want to start up something like this and you need operations, you can also always reach out to me in that aspect. How much do I make? Um, there is no cap to how much I can make. It's a question of how much work do I want to put in every single month, and that determines how much I make on a monthly basis. I hope that answers the question. Sir, so someone without a laptop can't be fully engaged. No, you can't be fully engaged, Chino, sir. What other questions? I think I've overstepped the time. Let me quickly see. I do not have a laptop now, but I want to make the first payment. Will I get a refund if I'm unable to get a laptop? So, Mercy, are you planning not to get a laptop? Are you planning? Is that your plan? Are you planning not to get a laptop? So, if this is something you want to do, Mercy, we are committed to working with you to get a laptop against July. Okay, so don't fret. Go ahead, make the first installment. Send me a DM. We can take the portion of in the DM. Okay. Um, Sunday, what time, please? Sundays, if you looked at the screen I presented, you are the one that dictates when you watch your videos on Sundays. All right. Please, sir, as someone who doesn't really have an idea in Microsoft, is it possible to guide from scratch? Shina, sir, what I tell people is this: if I give you a laptop and you can browse, and I ask you, can you go to Google and can you search for a flower called hibiscus and send me a screenshot of that flower? If you can do that with that, you can browse on a system and send me a screen, ask you to send me a screenshot of, then you have the basic knowledge needed to get a in this. And that's why we chose the courses we chose. We didn't choose software development because it's going to be much more difficult for you. All right, we didn't choose data engineering because the demand is not as high as these three that we've chosen for you. So it's going to be a lot harder, even if it's possible to get into that space. We don't want it to be. We want it to get all the advantage possible. So this is a fully thought out strategy by Namiant Analytics, and yes, you'll be able to start from scratch and be guided. If it's bad mistake, that's what happens. You get the recording. That's why we record. We even record this session. Okay, and if you filled out the attendance, get it mailed to you. So how much more our live classes? And you don't get access to the recorded version while you're at the program. Even after the program has ended, you still have access to it lifetime. Hope that answers your question. Solar. Please, sir, for someone who does not have much. Okay, I've answered that question. Can one do both data science and data analytics? You start with one, you finish it, get a job as that one, and then you move to the other. Okay, you don't find yourself learning and learning and learning, and that's all. If you're Ibukun says, what are your projections for data analyst jobs? Are we not reaching a saturation point? AI is a threat. Ibukun, the attendance form, gain access to the recording. I spoke about this earlier in the session, and when you watch the recording, send me a DM 003-215-8619. That's my line on the screen, and let's talk about that. Okay, I already answered a question during the session. Probably you joined. That's not my plan. Okay, Mercy, just send me a DM. Let's get let's discuss that. But you want to ensure that you are part of the 20 people who secure their discount, who secure their slots tonight. Let's see. Please call out your contact again. 0703-215-8619. I'll put it in the chat. You can copy it from there. WhatsApp only, please. WhatsApp only. All right, WhatsApp only. Fill out the attendance form if you're just joining us so that you can get access to the recording and the slides and every other thing. Now, I have received DMs. I wish you could see my phone right now. I've received DMs already. So if you are part of those who have sent me a DM with a proof of payment, by the time I drop off this call, I'll be responding to you one after the other, telling you what's next you should do. But just before then, I want to say big congratulations to those of you who have sticked to the session up until this point. I hope it was worth your time. I hope you took with you valuable insights. And for those of you who have secured a spot, if you are one of the 20 people who have secured their spots already, a big congratulations to you on taking that leap of faith into choosing us as your partner in this lifelong journey of yours. Okay, so in the meantime, it will be a goodbye from me for now, and I'll see you in class May 10th, 2025. Don't sleep on this. Cheers, guys, and have a wonderful night.